And we climbed down into that pit. We couldn't figure out what had been in there. It might have been just a basement or water limestone storage. There's the Alcantara bridge that goes over to another part of Djerba where there's an island. Club Med in the summertime has people in tents. You sleep in a tent. Folke, what are you smoking? Put that cigarette out. Back in the days of her smoking habit. Looking good in the jeans. Looking good with our touring couple with and they really needed those cloaks. You could see with the sandstorms, those cloaks really do double duty. Not only do they keep you warm, but they keep the sand from permeating every pore in your body. There's the car, the Fiat I rented, and played Juan Fangio race car driver on the sands. Couldn't get movies of that, of course, but at Sandbar there was nothing for miles around, so I really got carried away a little bit. It was still some water on the sandbar, so you could brake and do some interesting kind of slides and tours and turns. Folke doing a native dance again. This is a dance she learned in Tunisia. We never did get any pictures from those people. Interesting architecture. Those domes are really very well done to keep the heat of the day off outside of the buildings. This is a 400-foot reel taken with the Yashica Super 8 zoom lens camera, number 68A. It's the real number. Some interesting camels going by. That one was all by itself, just walking around. I guess the owner let it go, told it to go home. Oh, there's a donkey kid. Maybe he's sort of making sure it gets home. We almost ran out of gas with this car. I kept expecting to see a gas station, and we drove into a little village like this. I must have had about a liter left. I was afraid to go any further. I started knocking on doors and finally found a guy who said, yeah, he would sell me some gas. And I drove behind one of these structures, and lo and behold, he had a 55-gallon tank of gasoline. We drove the car up to it. He had a hose contraption that there's a well, water well, and he filled the tank up. I gave him a nice premium rate. He didn't want to take too much money. This is probably a 2,000-year-old well that Folke's looking into. Goes back to prior to Roman times. Hannibal was from Tunisia, crossed the Alps, had to cross part of the Atlas Mountains, but he went from nearby Tunis. We're not too close to Tunis now, but from this country, Carthago. I've got that on another reel, but these are the wells that go back to the times of Hannibal and Caesar. Just amazing when you think of the time span, and people are still using them. Sort of timeless here, to see these camels and people doing things that they've been doing for 2,000 years, living in stone structures, walking around in the same kind of garb, cloth tops. There's a guy going into a hut, probably beautifully decorated inside. No TV antennas. Okay, son, you can come in now. Oh, I tried to get an art shot here. This camel was sitting in the middle of these fragile clay jars and pots. So I tried to set up an art shot looking over the tops of the pots at this camel who could just take one step and break a bunch of them. And here's another attempt at an art shot with a spider web between the cactus, or is it cacti? Let's see if this light, does that do anything? Is that any better, Tommy, if I turn this light out? I can leave it off for a while. There's a bus that was stopping to pick up some people. Folke making herself up before our New Year's Eve, I believe. Looking very lovely. Out of focus here. This very poor lighting in the bathrooms in Club Med. And it's the Daisy Bell paddle wheeler time in Club Med, New Year's Eve party. New Year's Eve 1974-75. paddle wheel river showboat show put on by the Gentil Organisateur, GOs, and the guests are the GMs, the Gentil Membres, and those are the Gentil organizers putting on the show for us. These were just a lot of college kids, and this is something I thought Michael and Tommy would have gotten a lot of experience and a kick out of. Al Jolson imitation. GBF back on the beach again. Is he going to do another dance here? Looking around at those are real date trees. We picked a few and sampled them. They weren't very sweet. I guess they have to ripen to a certain degree, or maybe they add honey to them. Very windy on the beach there. Windy and cold. Wind chill factor. There's a good close-up of the date palm trees. Delicious date palms if you like them. And we must be getting close to the end. There's a Club Med bus. Oh no, these were the safari, the Land Rovers that took you out in safari. Into the desert. Sahara Desert. We're on the fringe of the Sahara Desert here. Not too many miles away. There's the country flag of Tunisia. The star and the moon. Beautiful red flowers don't show up that well. Oh, watch this scene. I was taking a shot of these horses, and all of a sudden this horse started rearing up. And you're going to see coming in, this horse got so frightened it ripped up that stake, galloped away as this camel came threatening by. Camel herder trying to get him to go in the direction he wanted. They look pretty gentle, but they must have a mean streak in them that other animals are aware of. Folka looking a little chilly by our, I think that was a Fiat. We're going to be climbing some rocks around here, I think. This is one of the Roman era fortresses. Probably the defenders of the Roman invasion built these fortresses to protect the villages along the ocean side. Very vulnerable. Tunisia was very invulnerable to invasion through the ages. Hannibal in the Alps. What a story, huh? I have to read some history about what Hannibal actually, what his claim to fame in North Africa was, how much he had conquered. He wanted to be the Alexander the Great of his time. Now careful, Gordon, don't hurt yourself. Those are very sharp rocks. Very sharp sandstone remnants there. High tides really must wash in all the... Wow, what a crazy guy. Trying to play monkey man. I think I've got Blaine Aston's old shirt on underneath that jacket. And we're back in El Cantara, the village again. Folka buying something from that kid. She's giving some flowers to the children. Let's go, she says. She's carrying my purse there. Still have that purse, don't use it that often. There's our touring friends.